Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, dear learners, Assalamu alaikum. Let's discuss problem 2.1 of William Height 8 edition. And this is the international edition, not the US edition. So, the one in US edition, I personally don't find that problem 2.1 very interesting, and that problem has been articulated in somewhat, to me, somewhat vague terms. So, that's not clear. And moreover, that is simpler as compared to the one which is given in the international edition. So I've decided to share or to work on this one. So this problem gives us 4 point charges, all positive, same magnitude, q1, q2, q3, q4. We'll name them, and plus 10 nanocoulombs, and they are all lie in z equals to 0 plane. And it asks us not only that, but it says that these four charges are located at the corner of a square with sides of 8 centimeters. So definitely, if one side is given, so all the four sides are given because it's a square, and it is also mentioned that it's on z equals to 0 plane. So we can take the square and put one corner of that square at origin. In that case, would we be able to solve the problem? Yes, we would be able to solve problem. So let's see what's given about the point charge number 5. So it says that there is another point charge, the fifth point charge, which is of plus 10 nanocoulombs magnitude, and the nature is positive, and is located 8 centimeters away from all those charges which are located on z equals to 0 plane. So it specifically it says that a fifth 10 nanocoulomb positive charge is located at a point 8 centimeters distant from the other charges. So the other four charges which were lying on z equals 0 plane, this charge is 8 centimeters away from each of these charges. So now in that case, obviously, if it is equidistant, if q5 is equidistant with respect to these four charges, so definitely this charge is not lying on z equals 0 plane, rather it is lying at some point which is above this plane or below this plane. All right, so where should we put this q5? For that, let's see what they are asking us to find. They are asking us to calculate the magnitude of the total force on this fifth charge. On this fifth charge, this is the magnitude which we are asked to find for epsilon equals epsilon naught. Meaning, basically, they are asking us to calculate the magnitude of force at q5 due to all these 4 point charges, and magnitude on this q5 is required in free space situation. So we can take the square like this, we can draw it like this, and we can draw a square like this, this situation. So in that case, if I draw the square like this, and at each corner I put one charge, q1, q2, q3, and q4, in that case q5 will be either above that square or below that square. Okay, in any case, I'll have to find the coordinates of this point charge. For that, if I take the square somewhere here, so if I move some distance above here, in that case definitely the coordinates of q5 will have non-zero x axis x coordinate, non-zero y coordinate, and non-zero z coordinate, and that is perfectly fine if you choose that square to be lying in the positive x and y axis. But if we take things, if you think a little bit symmetrically and intelligently, in that case what we would do, we would actually take, if we use a little bit of intelligence, this intelligence would force us to take the center of that square to be at origin. Doing so would give us the fifth. Doing so would give us the location of the fifth charge Q5 somewhere on z-axis. In that case, the coordinates of this fifth charge Q5 would be Q5. Let me use a darker marker here. Q5 is located somewhere here, and the coordinates would be 0, 0, and some point which we'll discover later on. So this is Q5, and at each corner, excuse me, one point charge is available. So let me call this point charge Q1, this Q2, this Q3, and this one to be Q4. I'm not writing it here. So in order to find the magnitude of the force on the fifth charge, we must have to find the z-axis of this excuse me, of this Q5 charge Q5. So for that we can use Pythagorean theorem. Okay, but before that, let's talk about the coordinates of Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So if that's the case, and this width and this depth is 8 centimeters, so the coordinates of Q2 would be 4, 4, 0. The coordinates of Q1 would be 4, -4, and 0. Okay, similarly for this one, we'll have -4, -4, 4, 0. Sorry about lack of space, but never mind. Since the charges are distributed symmetrically, so we should have the idea by now that if I would calculate force with respect to one point charge, I'll have to multiply that by 4. Okay, so can I do that without knowing this coordinate? Yes, I can do that, but why? Because I know the distance between these 2 points, that would be 8 centimeters. It is given, and distance between these 2 points and distance between these 2 points all are 8 centimeters. Okay, if I would use this 8 centimeters for each, I'll get the force, because the force, yeah, I'll get the force due to each of the point charges Q1, Q2, Q2, Q3, and Q4. But remember that that point charge will have z component, x component, and y component. All the components. That force will have all the components. The force due to this one will have all the components, and the force due to this one will have all the 4 components, all the 3 components. And force due to this charge will also have, because the force will act along the line joining these 2 points and will be repulsive because both are like charges. So in that case, vector force due to Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 all will have the same, all will have the 3 components. Okay, but we can see from the symmetric distribution of the charges that the horizontal component of force due to Q1 will be cancelled out by the horizontal contribution of the force due to Q3, and similarly for horizontal contribution of the force due to Q2 will be cancelled out by the horizontal component of the force due to Q4. So at the end, what we'll get the z component alone. Okay, so although it is apparently asking us to find the force of on Q5 and the magnitude alone, but that magnitude, if I would just take this distance and use the formula for Coulomb's law, that Q force due to first point charge on this is Q1, this point charge Q5 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, and since I am asked to find the magnitude, so this is the magnitude, and the distance between the source point and the field point squared, this distance squared, this is the magnitude now, and if I multiply it by 4, would I get the correct answer? The answer is no. I won't get the correct answer, because this magnitude has got all the three, this magnitude is the total magnitude of force due to this Q1 at this point, okay? And if I would multiply it by 4, I will get a wrong answer. Why? Because symmetry check would force us to conclude that actually the force due to Q1, the horizontal component of the force due to Q1 will be cancelled out by the horizontal component of the force due to Q3, and same is for Q2 and Q4. So actually we have to find the force at this point, due to Q1 first in vector form, and then take its z component and then multiply the z component by 4. We cannot multiply the whole magnitude of force due to this Q1 on this Q5 and multiply that magnitude by 4. That would give us a very big, large, wrong answer. Okay, so with this premise, let me proceed with this problem. So it means that we must find the z component here. Okay, why? Because we have to find the force on this charge first in vector form, and then we'll take the z component alone. Okay, so this distance, we all know this distance is, let me draw it in here. This distance is would be 4 under root 2. Why? Because this length is 4 and this length is 4. So if I would do the maths, Pythagorean theorem, base and perpendicular squared under root, so under root 4 square plus 4 square will give me under root 4 under root 2. So, and let's say this length is let me draw it here, and this length is, let me call it z1. This is not known to us. Okay, that this one is not known to us, but what is known to us is this distance which I am drawing with the black marker here, and I hope you would be able to see it in black. So this is, we all know this is 8 centimeters. So again, using Pythagorean theorem, hypotenuse is equals to under root base square, which is 32. You square it, you'll get 32 plus z1 square. So you'll solve it and you'll find it that it is equals to, that one is equals to under root 32, or in other words it is 4 under root 2. Okay, so we've got 4 under root 2 as the z coordinate of the point charge Q5. So now once we have got, what we have got, the two ends of the line, the coordinates we know. This one is 4 minus 4 0, this one 0 0 under root 4 under root 4 under root 2, which is under root 32. So now we can find the force on this point. We can say it like force on 5 due to 1 in vector form is given by, okay, let me write it here because I need space. Okay, so let's calculate the force, because I did not have space here, so let's do it afresh. So force on 5 due to 1 is given by Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R15 magnitude squared multiplied by A R15. I can write it like this, A from 1 to 5, sorry. Okay, a unit vector in this direction. Okay, or in other words I can write it, sorry, not, this should be q5. Okay, and or in other expression I can write it like this. I can write it like this, and instead of unit vector I can use the vector itself, because the magnitude is already known to us. This magnitude is already known to us. It is given to be 8 centimeters. So why not use this expression? So for this we'll have to find R15. So it does not matter whether you use R15 or R51, just be consistent with your notation throughout a numerical. So head at this point and tail at this point. So what we'll have this minus this, meaning minus, remember that this is in centimeters, so we have to convert it in meters, okay, because we are working in SI system. So 0.04 AX plus 0.04 AY plus, is it this minus this minus this and this minus this, okay, so plus 4 under root 2 AZ. So force on 5 due to 1 in its vector form is going to be 10 nano squared divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, and magnitude of R15, which is 0.08 in meters cubed. Alright, so, and this whole thing multiplied by minus 0.04 AX plus 0.04 AY plus, it's the same thing. Okay, so the required magnitude of the force due to all these 4-point charges, at this point is nothing but, because as we have already discussed, that the horizontal component of force due to Q1 will be cancelled out by the horizontal component of the force due to Q3, and same is true for Q2 and Q4. So only the vertical component, that is the Z component, would remain. Okay, so if I would take the Z component, okay, if I take 10 nano squared, okay, and if I take the Z component, which is 4 under root 2 AZ, but I am not writing AZ. Why? Because we are trying to write the magnitude only. So the Z component divided by 4 pi epsilon naught 0.08 cubed. Okay, this will be the magnitude of the Z component of force at this point due to Q1, and this magnitude will be the same for all the 4 charges. So I can multiply it by 4 to get the required answer. So let me calculate it for you here. 10 nano equals, this is 10 nano, I have to square it, answer into answer, multiply by 4 for the 16, multiply by under root 2, divide by 4, divide by pi, divide by epsilon naught, divide by 0.08 cubed, and this is what, sorry, my mistake, I did not convert this into centimeters, into meters. I converted these four into meters, but not this one. So I should divide this by 100 to make it in meters. So I can divide by 100 here. So what I'll get, I will get 39.7 exponent minus 5 newtons, or if you try to match your answer with the book, you'll get 3.97, which is exponent minus 4 exponent minus 4 nano, sorry, a newton, or which is approximately equals to 4.0 exponent minus 4 newton. So this is how you'll proceed. This is the answer. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.